12 rounds, ding ding, sick and tired of the...
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Post Fight Podcast. It's your host Nick Atkin with my co-hosts on my left, Chris Edwards-Bailey, and my other co-host, the Statman, Andrew McNichol. We've also got a very special guest today in the house in Times Square. We've got Ashley Martin, Hong Kong MMA fighter. She's also the host of the Flow Space podcast. Ashley, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Hey.
Yeah, we've wanted to get Ashley here for a while. I think she's going to experience a much more low-tech podcast than the one you do normally. I've seen your setup. You've got a few...
It's just the output looks pretty good.
Yeah. No, we've got some technical difficulties always. But we are here with our new post-fight T-shirts, the swag. Hopefully you can see it all.
I like the flexing.
Yeah. Very cool, very cool. It's a bit hot in here though, so... Yeah, we'll move on. We're gonna review UFC 245, which was a huge show on Saturday night, Sunday morning if you're here in Hong Kong like us. And there's no place other to start than Colby v Kamaru. Statman, what happened?
Kamaru, the Nigerian Nightmare Usman, against Colby Covington, the welterweight championship bout. It went 5 rounds, but ultimately it was Usman, Africa's first UFC champion, who does the job. What do you guys think?
Start with Chris.
Actually thought it was a fantastic fight, very back and forwards. I had it going into the last round, probably 2 each apiece. I thought Usman did just show a little bit more athleticism, a little bit more power. Colby never really got to get his game going as good as he likes it, because he's just all about 70% punches, output.
Yeah, volume instead of hitting hard, right?
Yeah.
What did you think, Ash? How did you have it going into the 5th?
Oh, I loved this fight. It was so good.
Yeah.
I really like Usman. I love his story. I love where he's sort of come from. And Colby really kind of like gets under my skin.
Yeah.
So the 5 rounds, it was like, you're always sort of hoping for your favorite. But it was close.
Yeah.
It was real close.
Yeah, I think I had it 2-2 going into the 5th, and I thought Colby was winning the 5th round until the game-changing moment, or the fight-changing moment, when he got dropped. I think it was an accumulation of punches to that broken jaw, which he suffered in the 3rd round. Andrew, pretty brave effort by him. As much as some people hate him, you got to take your hat off to Colby.
No, fair play. Like, I don't think a broken jaw is very enjoyable for anyone.
No.
So to have your mouth wired shut, that might be some poetic justice. But at the end of the day, Covington actually did a decent job. I thought he boxed pretty well, and to be fair, he actually looked like he could do exactly what Usman did to him at the end.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in Colby's way of fighting and to sort of like lose yourself to his game. But Usman, champ.
I think I was very surprised we didn't see a wrestling contest. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be on the ground. They met in the middle straight away and just stayed there. Barely ever.
There wasn't even a takedown.
No one tried for one.
So.
In that way I was very surprised. I thought a sneaky contender for Fight of the Year.
Yeah.
Potentially, if you're a fan of sort of 2 wrestlers.
It was like a chess match, in a ring or in a cage. I was very enthralled. I could only think maybe Stylebender v Gastelum for me might edge it, but maybe we'll get on that in our year in review show later on. Colby. Colby, as humble as ever, just called the ref every name under the sun afterwards and said, "You're a fake ref, fake stoppage, fake nut shot, fake whatever." All part of his game.
Yeah, all part of his sort of image, I guess, as well.
Yeah. As a fighter, do you like to see that kind of behavior?
I mean, I understand why people do it, but it really, really gets under my skin. It really annoys me.
Yeah, I think Kamaru is also a nice guy. He's very humble.
Yeah.
Very humble, from humble background. Marty from Nebraska, as he was known. So, it's just interesting to see where both of their careers are going to go from here. I feel like Usman could actually have a very long title reign. I don't see anyone particularly that stands out to me that's going to stop him. I think the Masvidal fight will be fantastic if it happens.
Looked like he had a strong chin, ate a few punches, right?
Oh man, yeah, Usman's made of bricks.
Yeah.
That guy.
Well, we'll see where they go next. Dana seemed to mention Masvidal. There's options.
It makes my stomach churn.
Yeah.
Those two going at it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Leon Edwards seemed to be mentioned by Dana. Would that be skipping Masvidal perhaps. But
Maybe.
Masvidal's talking about Conor and Floyd Mayweather.
Canelo.
Yeah, we'll see how that one plays out. Anyway, a very enjoyable fight on what was a very enjoyable card, I thought. What was the co-main, Andrew? Please take us through it.
It is the end of the blessed era because it's Max Holloway versus Alex Volkanovski. The Aussie man does it against all odds. Well, like I never thought he'd do it, and that's Volkanovski's not lost for 18 fights. He's not lost since 2013. I think we all slept on him. What did you guys have?
Wait, it was a split or unanimous? I can't remember.
It was a unanimous.
Yeah,
wasn't
it was
248 47s and 150 45.
I don't think Max can
Yeah.
argue with that, right?
I don't think Max Holloway showed up. He never really got his jab off. He never got on the inside. His footwork didn't look as good as it usually does. And it's an interesting fight because when I was scoring it myself, I scored it all 5 rounds to Volkanovski. But it was just winning each round rather than, showing he's out of the league of Holloway. He just scraped every round pretty much. Just did enough.
Yeah, the way I saw it was brilliant game plan by Eugene Behrman from City Kickboxing. They just planned it perfectly, kicking the lead leg, and then you could see Holloway's leg was so red after the second round. I think going into the championship rounds, there was already a record number of kicks absorbed by anyone in UFC. It must be frustrating for Max, right? He as Chris said, he never seemed to get his game plan clicking.
Yeah, it was, I think, one of the most inactive that I've seen Holloway fight. I kept wanting him to sort of like get stuck in and move around a little bit more, but it was like, where has he gone?
Yeah. Well, I think that's all credit to Alex.
Volkanovski?
Yeah,
big time.
He just nullified him, and I would like to say it was boring, but that's a bit unfair to Volkanovski.
I really liked it. I liked that fight.
Tactical.
It was smart. It was tactical.
But if you're Dana White, you don't want guys like that. You want more excitement, or what? Yeah.
Yes. But I
Well,
don't know.
Australia's a big market.
Yes.
They fill out big stadiums.
Mhm.
So Volkanovski's good. They've lost one Australian champ. They gave him another in the last half of the year.
Yeah, and they seem open to booking Max in a straight rematch next year in Australia. Is that the right idea? I think Max deserves it given his streak he was on.
Will
don't
it
think
be
he showed
featherweight? Featherweight?
Well,
Yeah.
is Max going to go up? Or?
I think he could.
I don't know. He still wants Khabib, doesn't he?
Well, I think Max, I'd like to see him take some time off. You know, he maybe came back a little too quick for me from that weight cut he did when he tried to fight Khabib.
Yeah.
And he always fights. I don't think he's had too long a layoff, so let's
Still
give
only
Max a break.
28. He's
Yeah,
been fighting in
I
the
know.
UFC 10 years.
Yeah, we love
Maybe
Max.
have a year off and let the body recuperate.
Yeah.
What was it? He beat Edgar, lost to Poirier, and beat Ortega. That was his last three fights, right?
He moved up to fight
Oh, yeah.
Poirier now.
Yeah, would you like to see him go back up? More natural?
I think so. I think, I mean, he's sort of the late end of his 20s. He's got like a decade over fighting experience.
Yeah.
And he's done
I
everything in
think,
featherweight, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
and
much.
now he's fighting featherweight to defend his belt, which is now gone.
Yeah.
I think,
I think
Come on,
I'd
guy.
Bit of fresh blood, yeah.
be interested in that. We had a third title fight though on this card, right? Andrew?
Yeah, for
please
sure.
fill
We
us
were
in.
treated to a female goat, I think, in Amanda Nunes, the Lioness. That was her 10th fight, 10th win in a row against kickboxing legend Jermaine Durandamy. Thoughts?
Yeah, second time she's beat Durandamy, right?
Yeah.
Did Durandamy do anything different this time for you? I know it went a lot longer.
Yeah, she actually definitely looks like a much more complete MMA fighter rather
Yeah.
than a kickboxer who happens to find themselves in an MMA match. Yeah, I thought it was a really strong performance by Nunes. I feel like she didn't get a lot of the love that she probably deserves, being probably the GOAT or one of the GOATs. And we'd just like to see her get a little bit more love. I think a lot of people were disappointed with the result of the fight because, she knocked out Ronda Rousey, she knocked out Holly Holm, she knocked out Chris Cyborg, and then she just gets a points victory over Durandamy in a very one-sided fight. After her last couple of fights, we are expecting big knockouts and her to get those hands off.
Yeah.
Do you think that was her intentions there, to sort of draw the fight out, go 5 rounds, see if she can actually do that?
In a way, it kind of looked like she was planning to go 5 rounds. She's had so many quick finishes. I mean, if it was my corner, or if it was my fight, for example, I'd want to be like, you know what, I want to take it to the very end and sort of see what I'm made of as champion. And it doesn't really matter what she's.
Yeah, I feel like she nearly got that submission in the first round, but you don't want to stand and strike with the randomly, right? So the longer it goes, I thought she's just going to take this comfortably. But.
Well, she definitely just stuck to her game plan the whole way through. And was, I'm going to hit her a few times, find an opening, take her down, and just like maul her.
Yeah.
And that's basically what she
Because
did.
would you think Nunes' strategy, why she was a bit more back offish, is that obviously the randomly can read striking. Maybe she was thinking the randomly's biggest chance of winning is to find that little hole or just timing and just movement.
Definitely, like Nunes got hit a few times, like good stingers as well. You could see it in her eyes, just like, I'm rooting for Nunes. I think she's amazing. She is the greatest female fighter that I've ever watched. So when she got hit by Durandame, I was like, oh my gosh, you gotta stick to your game plan, which she did. Just sort of grind it out, which she did, and got the result that she wanted.
Yeah, and she had to answer a few questions in the post-fight press conference about Clarissa Shields, the two-time Olympic boxing champion from America, about a potential boxing bout and then an MMA crossover. She wasn't too happy with the idea. She says, why would I go for boxing? And she's right. You know?
Yeah, it all depends.
This is her game.
It
Come
all
to me,
depends who
MMA.
wants to get paid.
Yeah.
Clarissa Shields is really sort of fancying that MMA pie though at the moment. She's everywhere.
We've got everyone doing it. Tyson Fury, but
She does want that maybe that MMA pay deal.
Yeah, but going back to your original point about this fight, Clarissa said, give me 6 months to learn how to stuff a takedown. But then, you're laughing, right? So Amanda was told that, and she said, Amanda had 6 years to learn how to do it. She still couldn't stop me, Like, do you think, how ridiculous is that?
I'm laughing. For those of you that can't see, I'm laughing.
Yeah, I mean, that's always funny when you hear, well, if you gave Mike Tyson 6 months to learn this or that, or Floyd Mayweather, it's just not possible, is it?
No.
I mean, it's no doubt that these people have insane mindset, and if they put their mind to anything, they can achieve great stuff, but that's 20 years of martial arts practice,
day in, day out
competition versus 6 months.
And anything can happen if you get caught with the right shot. But anyway, let's see. I think
Adesanya didn't have his first MMA fight until he'd had 10 years of ground game done.
Yeah.
So 6 months, 10 years is a big difference.
See, that's the right way to do things.
But you never know. You could always just be a freak athlete. There is always somewhere out there. There is some freak athlete out there who can
just adjust. And just pick stuff up.
Well, let's kick on to it's such a stacked card.
Yeah.
Any of these first two fights could have been a main event on a fight night, I think, as well.
Definitely.
Andrew, take us through. I think it was
Marlon Moraes versus the legendary Jose Aldo. I don't know how you guys scored it, but it went split decision, obviously. Who did you have, Nick?
First, did you like Jose at bantamweight?
Yeah, I thought he looked a beast. I think he looks menacing.
Weight cut was a bit scary, but...
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tuned out for Aldo. I feel, personally, I just feel like he's a bit expired. A bit sell-by date for me. I think just tune out.
I think everyone got a bit excited and they thought, it's the Jose of old. It didn't look like he was that killer he once was. The fight was close. I thought Aldo won, but I wasn't annoyed that it went to Marlon. I thought it was a close fight. It could go either way. I wasn't upset.
Yeah, probably. I had Aldo. Sometimes that happens. I mean, Dana White came out and said he thought he had Aldo winning. I think for Marlon, it's probably a bigger setback in his career because I don't really know where he's going to go next because it seems like he doesn't want to give him Cejudo again. I don't think anyone wants to see that again. I think Aldo Cejudo would have sold more and been more interesting, so I don't really know where they go from here. The only thing you can look at is the fight below it, and maybe they can have some sort of eliminator.
What was that fight below it, Andrew?
Below these guys?
The first one, yeah. How did it kick off?
Was it
Petr Yan
Petr Yan versus another legend in the sport, Uriah Faber, coming back from retirement, 40 years old. Looked great in the first round and then just gets lit up by the Yan man.
He should probably retire unless he wants the second fight with Jose Aldo. And they can have it as
that would be cool.
Yeah, a little nice fly off into the sunset and
A
all
kickless Aldo
Yeah.
against a Faber. That would be interesting.
that. Yeah.
Did you see Faber walk out with California Dad
Oh,
this time?
Very
That's
nice.
sweet.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, realistically, he's 40 years old. I don't want to see him just taking fights for the hell of it. He's got enough money, I would hope. He has his own gym. He's got things going on. I'm sure Dana's looked after him over the years. And he's only, for me, going to have a role where he's putting younger guys over and establishing them as stars. I can't see him challenging for the title. And what's the point if he's not going to... I think that's why he came back, to try and get a crack at Cejudo, right?
Is it?
Yeah.
I think he talked it up.
I think in these comeback fights, my big surprise is that he hasn't really used his wrestling.
Mm.
And when I think of the Uriah Faber of old, I think of him as having great wrestling. And I don't know if that's the Uriah Faber of old, not the new Uriah Faber. Maybe he can't fight like that anymore. But
And let's not forget, Peter Yan is an absolute beast. I don't know why anyone would want to fight him. Cody Garbrandt calling him out and having him... Oh, that's just terrible. As he called him no chin, I think...
Oh,
yeah,
man.
we've seen that. I don't like that for no love. But, yeah, Yan caught him a couple times, cracked him really hard in the second round, opened up a really nasty cut on the eye as well when they were on the ground. Actually, do you think they should have stopped that?
I'm glad they didn't. I really
Yeah.
enjoy... I love a messy fight.
Yeah, sure.
But it was not nice to lay eyes on.
He's got a good poker face, Faber, hasn't he?
oh yeah, definitely, he is still an icon to me, an icon of
Yeah,
the sport.
He's such a baby face. If he was in wrestling,
Yeah.
in WWE, the crowd just never gave up. They're always chanting his name, even though Yan was just mauling him. A head kick to finish it.
Yeah,
I
it
thought,
was-
I thought Yan is deadly with his hands. Christ, that kick.
Oh man, it was right on the end of it as well. It hit him like a
Yeah,
whip
yeah.
on the chin. Oof.
He's a deadly man, Peter Yan.
Yeah.
He called for Cejudo. If I'm Cejudo, I'm hoping. No, I don't want to face him yet. Right?
Yeah, but Cejudo just always amazes me. I've never
Yeah.
really rated him, and every
Well,
time he's
yeah.
surprised.
True.
So
True.
I feel he's in no rush to fight Yan though. That was the main card. We'll briefly touch on a couple of interesting fights on the prelims. There was Mike Perry getting knocked out for the first time by Jeff Neal in 90 seconds. First round. I did not see that coming.
I did not see it coming. Mike Perry, one of my favorite fighters, just a real warrior, always ready to fight. Anyone who has their nickname tattooed above their eyebrow, I respect. In
Or
the new
fear.
year, we might see Andy with a Statman above his eyebrows.
Why
We
not?
don't know.
Why not?
Yeah.
Are there any stats you compiled? Sorry, I forgot to ask
For
you.
Geoff Neal.
Geoff Neal.
No, Perry's now 13-6, which is a little bit concerning in my opinion, because I thought he
Yeah.
was, maybe not elite tier, but top tier, definitely above gatekeeper in my opinion. But yeah, he's now gone.
Yeah.
He's got to go back to the drawing board and have a real think.
Yeah. Do you think he came back a little too soon after having his nose rearranged by
That was his
Vicente
last
Luque?
fight,
yeah.
was it?
Only
Yeah.
4 months ago, I think it was.
My gosh. Oh man.
I know he
Hard to
just got
say.
married and had the honeymoon, so maybe he had a big
Did he
deal.
get married?
He just
I thought
wanted
he just
to
got
pay off.
separated. I thought it was the
Okay.
other
Oh,
way.
really? Oh,
Both.
Separated then married.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Poor Mike. We're
Yeah.
discussing his private life.
Well, it seems like a whirlwind of stuff
Yeah.
going on with him.
Yeah.
So, with all that stuff going on, sometimes you
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to
lose
see
sight
him
of the
chill
game.
out a bit.
Yeah.
Everyone loves him. He's a fan favorite. It was tough to watch, but Jeff Neal looks pretty good, huh? He's a
Oh,
real prospect.
definitely,
He's the real
yeah.
deal.
Huge guy, very well built.
I think he's
Southpaw, was
yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Smashed him.
He's a problem.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of good people entering the division right now.
Yeah. We will watch with bated breath for him. Also on the prelims, we had a brilliant knockout. Arena Aldana.
Yes.
Oh, can you walk us through it, Andy? Have you got the stats?
Yeah, I do. It was Irene Aldana, actually, if we're getting it right, against
My bad.
Ketlin Vieira, women's bantamweight division. Aldana first round knockout, right at the end of the first round with this textbook left hook. Like,
Yeah, it was
I
great.
don't think I've seen one that clean.
They'll open up a lot of doors for her, right, Ash? You think?
Oh man, they're boxing. All the girls from that gym, when they box, I'm like so excited.
Yeah.
I love watching them box. The control, like space, distance control of the ring, just moving out of the way. smashing their faces.
Yeah.
It's great.
Highlight
So
reel.
happy.
Oh, I love
Happy
it.
about
I love
his
it.
faces getting smashed.
Yeah. And it's surprising, that was quite a big rankings deficit. I think the girl she beat was number 5. She was about 13, so
Yeah.
that could really put her in the frame for a shot at Nunes, right? If she's going to defend that.
Yeah, probably one
Drop down,
or
yeah.
2 away.
Yeah.
1 or 2, like same with Jeff Neal.
Jeff.
2, maybe 3 away. I
Is there
feel.
still home in the division? Isn't there? Holly Holm?
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
she's
She's still
been
gonna be-
decisively beaten by
Yeah.
Nunes. Do you do that again? Like,
There's no one really
Home
out there
Aldana.
who's given Nunes
Yeah,
a
Home
really
Aldana.
strict-
Exciting.
Yeah, that's what I'd be
Yeah.
like.
Striking.
we'll
galore.
let Dana and Sean Shelby figure these ones out. We also had Mike Brown.
We're doing Mike Brown, are we?
Just run us quickly.
Mike Brown, the legendary Mike Brown against, the fairly legendary Ben Saunders as well. As an old man's fight. Brown gets a second round TKO there, with again a sort of vintage elbow display, if you remember.
Yeah, I actually thought Matt Brown, until I saw the card, I thought he'd actually retired. I didn't know he was still active.
Well, he came back from retirement. Yeah.
Okay.
He's come back with elbow finishes after elbow finishes, that
Yeah.
guy. He's just...
You know when you kick and you're against Mike Brown, why? Matt Brown, like, why would you kick against him? Because he's just going to catch you and he's going to bow you in the face.
Yeah.
Just like that. Yeah.
That was cool to see. So many other awesome fights in this card. I don't even got time to get to them. It's a shame. We're going to have to wrap it up there. But thanks as always to everyone for coming in. And thank you especially Ashley for gracing us with your presence. We've
Thanks.
had a great time. Hopefully get you back.
No, it's nice to finally be here.
Yeah,
For
please,
sure.
could you just tell everyone a little bit about your podcast quickly?
Oh, it's called the Flow Space Podcast. It's on Spotify.
Awesome. We are not on Spotify, but we're on YouTube, as you'll be watching. Please don't forget to like us, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. Also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, SCMP Martial Arts. As always, we hope to see you back again soon. I'm off to Chile, Korea tomorrow, Busan, for the final UFC event of the year. So I'll be giving you some more videos, hopefully on the ground. And then we'll be wrapping that one up, I think, hopefully, unless everyone's away for Christmas. So
Yeah.
I'm just rambling on now. Happy Christmas, everyone, and I've done that
Merry
the wrong
New
way.
Year.
Merry New Year, yeah.
And happy
Peace out.
birthday to these two as well.
Oh,
on
yeah, Wednesday, yeah.
Birthday buddies.
twins, yeah. We only just found that out today.
Yeah.
Anyway, no one's watching still, so yeah. Cheers, guys.
12 rounds, ding ding. Sick and tired of the whole damn thing, yeah. Stick a move in the ring. You can hit me with the words you fling.